Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn, and I am Shawn. So when you know it around here, when our sound meter just starts pegging out all the way full, that I have arrived in my desired and regal place behind the rocks and the minerals, surrounded by the rocks and minerals, and all that positive energy, including knowing all of you are going to be watching this in all. There's a great comment about keeping my ego in check here to Charles, the new guy. So might be good advice. Might be good advice. Okay, so we're going to continue with new, mixed, and sale items, which you should get excited about and be excited about. Love this weather, don't you? I tell you what, this is when, if you're walking even to your car, or walking to work, that you go out of your way to put your foot on Mother Nature, ground yourself with the earth. Other than that, what are we walking on? We're walking on asphalt, we're walking on concrete, we walk back into the house on carpet, and you never touch Mother Earth. She wants that. She needs that connection. And she needs to make sure that we're taking good care of her as well. So that's why, it was actually interesting. And like I said, if I ever just told you, I could go story after story about my experiences and other friends' experiences, including the mine, Imperial Topaz mine that my friend owns. And I actually even have a DVD of it. And some of you might have bought some stones or some crystals at the Bella Vista mine, meaning beautiful view in Portuguese, very similar to Spanish. And anyway, he was telling me that, we all have this image of mining in Brazil as this, like the garimpeiros, the gold miners, where they're just, ravaging the land and just taking what they want out of it and, not putting anything back in order. Not the case unless you're doing it illegally. Of course, you go the route because if you ever hit anything big, or, of course, word gets around, and the government, if you don't have all your ducks in a row, will just come take your mine from you. His restrictions, and I am familiar with a lot of the EPA different restrictions and the Mining Bureau and whatnot, and here in the United States, and they're strict. I actually looked into, when I lived in Denver, into what it takes to stake a claim. And it's actually quite easy on the Bureau of Land Management. It's if you're out west, there is plenty of land to still do the old stake your claim thing, and you just have to work it so much over certain periods of time, depending on where you're at. But that was always, I thought, pretty cool. So in Brazil, you have to put down bonds, in other words, money down for restoration. They have a regular person that comes out and checks. He had some very minor seepage into one of the creeks because the topaz down there, the crystals are found in, it's like completely eroded down to just a clay saprolite type of earth around it. So basically all you have to do is wash the dirt away and you extract the crystals. So there's a, and it's red clay. So there's a whole red clay issue, which of course here in Georgia we're real familiar with, that they have to work around because the slightest lack of silt fencing and whatnot can put that dirt and clay into the creek. And he had just a little bit, he said, and they came down on him hard. He had to shut down. He had to, put in all this other and dig out all this other fencing and whatnot. So, it's not, what it does to me is it adds legitimacy, it adds value, and it adds control to a market that isn't just going to be plundered by the illegal miners. Now, the gold mining, that's a whole nother ball game, because they are way up the Amazon River in areas that gets really difficult to pretty much do anything unless it's a major, like, military type of operation. It's amazing what they will take up the river to get the gold. But there's a lot of gold up there, and obviously it's well worth it. All right, so the neat thing, though, I actually have, it'd be neat, the DVD of the mine, and I still have a few of those imperial topazes from there. So maybe I'll part with a few here along the way. We'll have to see. All right, so we have our comments to go through and our trivia to do, and then a lot of things to get to. So let's get the party started. Here we go. So our two trivia questions that we asked, that we do every show, or most every show, at the end of the show, are as such. And then if we have multiple winners, we put them, let's say if there's 6 winners, we put, number 1 through 6 and assign the number to one of the winners, and then the numbers. Well, you could picture us drawing them out of a hat, but I usually sit here and say, Dave, pick a number between 1 and 6 or something. Of course, then the smarty, we have to go through this every time. We'll pick a number outside of that. I said, no, Dave, pick a number. So anyway, that's how we arrive at the winner. But, there's something magical about it because it seems to be very fair, just the show, the magic to the show. And it seems to, the trivia prize that is given usually suits the person best that wins it. That's the best way I could describe it. So, all right, let's go on. So the two questions were, question number 1, what element is present in dravite? Remember, that's a type of tourmaline, dravite, that separates it from being a shoral tourmaline. All right, so that was question number 1. Answer being magnesium. So dravite has the presence of magnesium, whereas there's a lot of different types of tourmaline, just like there is in the garnet family, with different chemical composition at the front end of the formula, and the tail end of the formula usually is a repeating molecule or series of elements that are very similar to each tourmaline. Second question was, I mentioned a member of the chlorite family associated with sphene specimens that I have shown. What is the name of the mineral? All right, so pretty much the only sphene specimens that I have shown that would have other minerals associated with them, because remember, I have shown the Madagascar sphenes, but they're usually just the beautiful greenish yellow crystals by themselves. So, but the ones from Pakistan have usually 3 to 4 often other minerals. They can be the calcite, they can be feldspar with them, and they can be clinochlor. Yep, clinochlor is what we were looking for. And if you look at the clinochlor, it almost looks like a type of mica that can form little rosettes or little kind of layered type looking crystals, but it's quite beautiful. Chlorite is a all-encompassing type, one of those family members that has a lot of members in the family and can look a lot different from one to the next. Now, remember at the end of, or at part of the show, the last show that you saw, which would have been only a couple days ago, well, less time, no, I guess 6 days, you guys saw it on Tuesday. Okay, anyway, remember that incredible, wonderful item that Mr. Anthony had sent me, the thunder egg geode that he had sawn open, and inside it was an image of a cat. We'll see if we can't get that out and show that again this week. And he wondered what the part that was the cat was made up of. And I remember getting in these big burlap sacks of this material when I worked at the rock shop in Sarasota, Florida, still one of the largest rock shops I've ever been in, and really wonderfully run. And I really got and learned so much and got so much experience there. I guess when I started working there, I was around 12, and that's where I ended up teaching cabochoning to retired people there, and they kind of took me under their wing and kind of liked, because you could tell they could relate to that age, had grandchildren or whatever at that age. But I learned so much there about other agates and jaspers that you don't run across much anymore. Like there's one that I tell Raven about, Pata de Gallo, and it has this just bizarre pattern in it, and I haven't seen any of that in a long, long time. So anyway, the material that I mentioned as flame agate is what it looked like on the inside, and that's what it does, the red flame agate, and not to be confused with fire agate, which is technically a Mexican opal. Flame agate, and what it basically is you have a quartz silica, and if you can picture moss agate, where you have that exact same green, mossy type growth, except being green, hence the name moss agate. Well, this is identical except red. So when I had mentioned hematite, that's what it most likely is. It's mostly probably a base of a chlorite being stained or having some iron content, making it red, because it's kind of in its form, and in the way it looks is very, very similar. But very also, I thought kind of unusual to be inside of that type of geode. So very cool. So those are the two questions and answers. Let's get to the comments now. So right out of the gate, we have from Mr. Harry. I'm gonna, you know I do, read it like y'all write it. Woo-wee! And only a Southerner can do that. Guys, this is just too much. I know why this happened, and I am just so blessed and thankful to the GSN team, and especially Elisa. Lovingly, Harry. I would say he must have received his free item that Miss Elisa wanted to give up her spot if she won, for it to go to Mr. Harry, since he was always so caring and loving in his approach to our little Rockhound family. So then the next one, he titles Trivia and Family Love from Mr. Harry. OMG, how cool is this day, everyone? As this show was released to air today, 10/17, remember, it was a day later, instead of yesterday, is a small miracle, because my loved ones, every one of you can hear this in real time, kind of. But Susan's first day and closely watched as it is, but it is Susan's first day and closely watched as it is infused when the infusion went off fairly well, approximately 3:30 p.m. She will be released to go home. And they caught her a couple of reactions she had right away and added some medication, and she is handling it well. I want all you to hear this. We have an amazing God who loves us, every one of us. So I say this as a suggestion. Seek him out, find him, and he will not make it hard to find him, and surrender. Hi, Professor Shawn and the lovely Raven and GSN crew, as well as all you lovelies in stone. Wow, what a week, and congrats to the new guy, Charles, in the pre-night specimen. How nice. P.S. I have a nasty cold and oxygen levels are kind of scary, but I have a plan. We shall see. Nice aqua crystal. This is still Harry, by the way, everyone. Wow, Dave, awesome camera work on the world tour of that huge Indian scolecite. Impressive. What? And Dave was impressive, or my wonderful scolecite specimen was impressive? Or maybe it was the host talking about the scolecite was impressive. LOL. On the Indian scolecite, I wrote down my guest price, $349, and that's no cheating. LOL. Trivia. Yay. Let's see. Element which makes dravite. Dravite is magnesium. A member of the chlorite family associated with phene is grease. He didn't know. Is green chlorite. He writes, I have no clue. You know what? That's what I like. I love honesty like that because then I know, no one's going back and looking. So you get an O for honesty. Well done. Well, Shawn, it's been another wonderful show. And as us B-52 fans say, she came from planet Claire. Love y'all, Harry. Miss Cindy says, hello, Rock family. I really enjoyed the show this week. Thanks for the well wishes for my husband's. I kid you not. If I could turn around and show you right now, I would show you. I even have a question mark right there. It says, so this is what Miss Cindy's been up to. Remember her husband had to have the surgery. Well, at least one of them did. Thanks for the well wishes for my husband's. Post-surgery, he bruised it and battered. Totally normal, but he is not a fan. Well, I guess not if you got two husbands. He told me yesterday I am no Florence Nightingale. That made me laugh. Yeah, but that's because husband number two's getting all the attention. That was very cute, Miss Cindy. Trivia. Magnesium and clinochlor, well done. Everyone have a great week. See you on Monday. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. And with her fave of the show is the Cavensite specimen. Well, I think someone bought that. Mr. Anthony says, hello all. I'm glad to hear about Harry receiving good news. Indeed. And welcome, Charles. Yeah, man, stick around. Go easy on the compliments, though, to our host. We're trying to keep his ego in check. Well, maybe just a little complimenting. Glad to see you received the cat, Shawn. I have its mirror image slice, so I have its twin, so to speak. Yeah, I love the Oregon material. This is old material from Richardson Rock Ranch. I got many years ago a large wooden box of it and of the Thunder Eggs. I now have 5 left that are uncut. The cat was number 6 and the coolest. Cool cat for a cool cat. Enjoy. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's very, very neat, Mr. Anthony. It's something I have never had in a Thunder Egg was a pattern like that, nor any interior material as well. So that will absolutely be very loved. Miss Barbara says, oh, by the way, Mr. Anthony goes on to say, I scored the Cavensite and still by geode. Yep, that's who got that little grotto piece. Is Shawn sporting a beautiful saddle-style new ring? At first, it looked to be turquoise, but maybe Varisite, not sure. You won't hold still. Yeah, even my doctor calls me wacko. He's actually been only one, in 14 years, only one of 2 people outside the industry that I had given a private tour back when we did that. We don't do that anymore. Of the new studio here. So it's always good to keep your doctor happy. Yeah, because he, knows how demonstrative I am with my hands, and in the office I just can't sit still and everything. So he called me wacko one day. I said, "Is that the right kind of bedside manner you're supposed to have?" So. He's a great doctor, though. Dr. Morrison. So, is Shawn sporting a beautiful saddle-style ring, new ring? At first, it looked to be turquoise, but maybe Varisite. Can't really tell, won't hold still. Really nice, though. I'm assuming it is made by Shawn. Oh, boy, I tell you, Mr. Anthony, you know what you get when you assume. Wrong. I would like to say it was by me, but when we have a close shot coming up, later when I'm showing something, I'll show you the ring up close because it's Tibetan turquoise. And back, for those of you who've been around long enough, when I worked with another vendor in another show, we got in magnificent, the real stuff, Tibetan made items and using coral and turquoise and whatnot. But what was local and not fake or anything was true Tibetan turquoise. And that's what this is. And on the side, besides, I don't have my owl on today, but my other, I guess, and this might come from my heritage, but my mystic totem animal, I guess you would call it, is another word, but I can't think of it right now. The dragon, but not the European medieval style dragon with the wings, which was later on. The original dragon that protected the emperors. Dragons were considered good. They weren't anything evil. And those are the ones without the wings and a different number of toes depending on what level of dragon they were. I think it's the one with the 5 toes are the ones that were the only ones assigned to protect Kuan Yin. And then also the emperors as well. So, yeah, I'll show you that. All right, answers to the trivia. Magnesium, clinochlor, eyes down, says Mr. Anthony, because he, like I, know that's where you find the rocks. Unless you're looking for meteorites that are fresh out of the sky, then eyes up, and most likely you'll wind up with a hole right through you. And then your eyes will be back down if you have any left. Miss Barbara says, hi, Professor, Raven, GSN crew, and the whole Rock family. Thanks to Miss Sarah for promptly posting the delay message, as Miss Gabby said. We immediately worry when things don't go as planned. I know, I actually, that morning, text her, and I don't think I finished hitting send before she had a text back to me saying, done, and because I know that a lot of you won't know or don't know until the morning of if it's going to post that day, depending on Shawn's illnesses. And so you check then, and that's why I did, and she was right on the ball. So I'll pass along the compliment. Really liked Anthony's nodule slice with the cat. A great example. Okay, you guys keep giving me like the Usambara effect, okay? Keep giving me these difficult words. Great example of pareidolia. And Miss Barbara, correct me if I got that wrong. Because I didn't even try to look up the word for pronunciation. Pareidolia, the human mind discerning familiar species in random patterns. Let me see, I stapled that, make sure that's right. Yeah. Like finding a cloud that looks like Mickey Mouse or the face of the man in the moon. Yeah, who of us haven't done that at any given age? And that was definitely a cat. And I think I told a story one time where there was an agate, and this is in the mid-'70s in the old Lapidary Journal. It made the cover of the Lapidary Journal. Back when the Lapidary Journal wasn't all so much jewelry, it was a lot more about lapidary. Anyway, a cutter had cut through a piece of agate, and wow, it was a perfect owl sitting on a branch with its talons. You couldn't have drawn an owl better than that. And even then, the value of it was, he had offers of upwards of $50,000, and it turned down. You're talking mid-70s, so they can be worse. So if you see, on the internet, your cat next week for sale there, Anthony, I do need more money. No, I treasure that, as you know I will. So Miss Barbara giving us another big word that we learned. Welcome, Charles. Always nice to have new blood participating in our Rock family dialogue. And Miss Barbara's big fancy words. And for anyone else out there just watching, come join the conversation. We're friendly. We don't bite, really. And you get to win free things, but you have to participate. And we say in the New York Lottery, you gotta be in it to win it. Couldn't resist the perfect Spanish pyrite cube because yours has the extra added attraction of a playful secret. Tee-hee, and I'm a wicked old gal. And I was figuring, since it's not quite a perfect cube, how many different ways you would have to turn that, because right now I have tape with an arrow going over and it says arrow pointing inwards to know which way that cube came out of its neat little resting spot. Because like I said, you could have a lot of fun party tricks with that after you put like some crazy price, like a label on it of $10,000, and then when the pyrite cube falls out of it from one of your friends handling it, and yeah, that's where faces are precious to reactions. But on that one, it was only like, see, 4 this way, and then flip it around and 4 back the way because it's a little bit rectangular. So not too many, but still, that's a lot of different attempts that you don't want to. So I actually learned and saw the way. So the arrow is more for now you, Barbara, to be able to tell to start with. But I can tell from the surface angle on the crystal face that which side and which one it is and how it goes in there. But yeah, that I think is a bonus that it actually does that, because there's a high likelihood that over time between heat expansion and moisture of that very, very clay-like marlstone, that it wouldn't fall out anyway. And that's why there's so many of them from that area that are loose, because they just come out of that marl. So to have it with the impression of it already loose, where you can like have a removable crystal, that's kind of a plus in my book, especially a big one like that. So enjoy, and glad to see you got that, because I like specimens that do things, that are reactive, just like an anhydro, where you move the bubble around kind of thing. All right, so welcome to Charles, and let's see, okay, couldn't resist the perfect Spanish pyrite cube. As to the trivia, magnesium is the element which makes the tourmaline dravite, not schorl, and clinochlor is the chlorite mineral associated with the Pakistani sphene specimen. Still waiting for a raven sighting. She's here. She's right back over there. She said she was going to make a grand entrance. This here, no. Coming up, because it's Halloween time, and she loves to, and she's got some great Halloween stuff. She has got incredible Halloween jewelry. I gave her a real neat skull that the mouth open and closed, so she has that on, but she has a beautiful 18 karat, and indicolite snake, and then she has 18 karat spider diamond earrings, but then she has a lot of the fun silver items in creepy crawlies as well, and I mean a lot. So yeah, we'll have to be showing some of those along the way. So we're gonna get her before you here very soon. She almost promised me. That was just, coming a long way with her. Oh, okay. When we cut to a close shot, she just gave me the really cool ring, especially that one, because it's one that I had something to do with. So I'll show you that in a little bit. Okay, let's see. Raven sighting. It would be instructive if she could take us on a tour around her own pieces. Come on, take your light out from under the bushel basket. I love that. And you know what? I read that to her earlier, right before we came in. I read it to her actually in the parking lot. And she bushel basket. So I had to kind of explain that part. But we're going to get her out. Be well all, Miss Barbara from Brooklyn, New York. Miss Barbara again says, hi, just a quick further note to say that for the wonderful trivia prize, thank you for the wonderful trivia prize of the mosaic ovals and the double heart agate slab. I think the opals will make a lovely pair of men's cufflinks. That they would. The smoky, subtle color scheme will be perfect for masculine jewelry, and the agate, perfect for anyone who likes hearts, is another example of pareidolia. Looks lovely from both sides on display in its suspension box. Super. See, I got a little bit of that Brooklyn super. Miss Elisa says, hello, Professor Shawn, the lovely Raven GSN crew and Rock family. Welcome, Charles, to the family, and congratulations on the win. I know, first time out, first win, but that's the magic. Miss Cindy, I am glad that both your husband's surgery went well. I'm doing having a little fun. Miss Cindy, I'm glad that your husband's surgery went well. And Harry, happy to hear about your sister. Anthony, The slice of flame agate is beautiful. You are awesome. Shawn, what happened to bringing in your multimeter meter? Multimeter. Multivolt meter. I'm not complaining, just hoping to remind you for next week is all. My answers to this week's questions are magnesium and clinochlor. Have a great, safe weekend. Okay, I'll bring in, I have 4 of them, so I'll have to see which one I'll bring in. Bring in one that works best for what we're going to do. And yeah, we'll take a few minutes, and maybe that would be a good time also to get Raven and have her help me do that experiment. I think you guys will like it. It's all about piezoelectricity, and it's, you know, I tell you what, one person that knows some of that better than anyone, witnessing it personally, is awesome. Because, like I said, I brought it in, and well, one of them in. Well, it's probably been 3 years. If I say like something is a year ago, it means 2 years. Or if I say 2 years, it means 4 years. So anyway, and it stuck around for a couple of days and through some of the offices because everyone could actually measure their personal body's amount of electricity that we put off. And it makes a difference if you create cations or anions through, let's say, eating a lot of salt or something. There is and can be a different level of connectivity and electricity output. True story. Okay, so from Mr. Brad, dear Shawn, the Raven, Gem Shopping Network staff, and the whole family, plus Charles. Hey, Charles, welcome to the gang. Glad to have you aboard. Just a quick note to say hello to everyone and to pray that all are well. A good show as always. Shawn, my favorite letter from the show is S. S for scolecite in a sesame sort of way, which I think we all know about that. A is next on my shopping list, axonite. Oh, I've been hoping you wouldn't bring that one up. I'll tell you in a minute. My next favorite letter is U. I am dreaming about a uvarovite. This one back here. Maybe one the size that I imagine that the Raven has. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one you want. Stand in line, buddy. That one I get. She laughed. She just snickered back there. My birthstone, the only garnet I don't have one of any significance. Then, my next most favorite letter is T for trapeche. Oh, we love them. And if you would have seen our show a couple few, that now is 5.5 years ago plus. We used to sell a lot of trapeche pieces. Rough, cabs, loose, mounted, some really high end. Yeah, we liked our trapeches. And parcels. There were so many. We had parcels of trapeche that were very reasonably priced as well. Colombian, all Colombian trapeches. So, you know, I was actually thinking about reconnecting with my trapeche source. We'll see if I put that energy out into the universe and what I get back. Keep the goodies coming. I will probably put those items in my letter to Santa Claus. It's never too soon to start shopping for the holidays. Be well, Brad. And Brad, I have to agree with you. It is sooner the better time. Miss Peggy. Hello, Raven, Shawn, the amazing crew of Gem Shopping, and all my rock friends. First, I would like to order one of the handmade display cabinets. I knew I should have opened my mouth. The one you described sounded so cool with its color change lights. This week's show was great as always. The Indian scolecite was breathtaking. I wish I could be the one to get it and your ruby ring. And I'm kind of sorry you're selling it. Don't say that, I know. But I hope it brings joy to whoever ends up with it. Keep me in mind this Thursday. I am having surgery. I do hope it all goes well and recovery is swift. Well, today, this moment is Thursday, and so I know from those within my earshot will be thinking of you and keeping you in our prayers then, Miss Peggy. Hope it all goes well also. Trivia, magnesium. I hope this is the right kind this week. I don't want to miss out on the cool prizes. Okay, you got the magnesium, right? And then clinochlor. Happy welcome to our newest responder, Charles. We hope you are here every week. Please tell Harry that I am sending his sister all my love. and for positive energies for recovery. I also wish you every happiness, Shawn. You and your family really do deserve it. Remember, we all love to listen to you as you talk about rocks. We are always here for you. That's almost, what's the word? Clairvoyant, maybe? Because I just had some, which I never have had out of all the siblings, some head bumping with some of my siblings over, of all things, money. And anyway, that's why, you know, I'm doing everything I can, and you guys are helping me. And if I put something out there, don't think of my sentiments. I will have already thought much about the piece, like the ruby ring, and weighing everything. And obviously, there's a reason that I need to offer it to one of all of you. And by doing that, and by you, whoever takes advantage of the opportunity to get it, you'll invariably actually be doing me a favor. And meanwhile, getting a great piece of jewelry as well. So don't let it keep you from it. Okay, so after that almost tearjerker moment, Mr. Charles, find your joy, Peggy says, and you're right. You're right, Miss Peggy. I need to work on that. Mr. Charles says, ciao, Professor Shawn and GSN family. It is an honor to have won the trivia contest on my first entry. Yes, it is. Thank you very much. We do not have a pre-night specimen. See, there you go. A made in the USA specimen. That is the magic of the show. I mean, most everybody's got some type of pre-night, but not only to have a pre-night, but one from the United States. How special. This will be a perfect addition to our collection. Also, thank you for such a warm welcome to the family. I am a recluse, so it means a lot to join a group of like-minded people. You know, Charles, I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, the Raven doesn't believe when I tell her that I was an introvert and recluse growing up and all my life, because she sees this part of me. But I am only like this in this way because this is the world I'm most comfortable in and know the best and the most about. Put me, you know, I can talk about a lot of things if I want to in a social environment. But when I see that commercial come up for that social medication to take, you know, if you're antisocial, well, I'm thinking, man, I need a bottle of that stuff. Yeah, that never was for me. But put me around a group of my peers, talk about rocks or rock hunting, prospecting, whatever, and you can't shut me up. Or even international things, other countries. I like to talk about travel and places I've been if someone else has been to the same place as well. So, yep, but the Raven doesn't believe I was ever that person because, again, she sees this side of me, which is a comfortable side. So, Mr. Charles says, Shawn, could you please mention which 3 wavelengths of light you have installed in your display case? I still need to install lights in mine and would love some advice. Okay, so I put the round hockey puck lights that you can stream together, plug in together. They have 20-watt bulbs in them, work usually fine. I think they make them with the 50-watt, the little plug-in bulbs, you'll see them. They can get kind of warm, so I drill in the top of my cabinet, first the holes for the little hockey puck lights. I make those adjustable, and they're an incandescent, in the incandescent wavelength. Adjustable for brightness, but then also one of the best things you can do is drill additional holes in, especially if you have a closed top. So I make the holes only as big as the hockey pucks that go in there, so actually it's so no air escapes. I drill additional holes so that you get a movement of a draft through, so that heat doesn't build up in the top of the cabinet, and which can, depending on the specimens, dry them out, make little fine dust, and do other sometimes bad things. Heat can also alter specimens as well, but that's another story. So that's the one kind. Then the other kind I will use a traditional, and I put them in the corner, bar length. So depending on how much space, it makes it so easy because you can get whatever bar length you want and fluorescent lighting, and have one in each corner if you have a square or rectangular case. Then if you have a triangular case, or if you have a rectangular one, you can put them in the corners. If you have some like wooden corners, which one of mine is wooden corners and the rest is glass, it's a perfect place to hide a bulb like that. And I have that separately controlled to where I can mix or match any one of my lighting schemes. The third item I have, which works perfect for those dark areas in your case, is strip lighting. And I just use cable staples, or if you can use a staple gun if you have got a powerful or electric staple gun, and you can just tack the strip lighting up, and I hide mine along all the edges and the rims of the cabinet, and then since those plug in, you have a lot of control as to where you can take them, so to speak. So those are the three, and then of course it's very easy to use a UV bulb if you want to create just like the top shelf switch over or something like that to ultraviolet. But yeah, for the three, that's what I like to use. All right, so he goes on to say, sincerely Charles, then favorite specimens, the Army green quartz cluster and the scolecite. Question 1, magnesium. Question 2, I don't know, with a sad face. The answer didn't make it into my notes. I remember you talking about garnet during that segment of the program, so I'm going to guess garnet, fingers crossed. You know what? You might as well throw it out there, Charles, and see if it sticks, because it counts just as good as a win. But now you know the actual answer, and is not garnet. But we also didn't really talk about it in the show, so you just started watching, and it's not something you would have known right offhand. But clinochlor, of course, being the correct answer. And all right, I think that covers everyone. And so multiple winners out there. Threw them in a hat, and out pops the name of Miss Peggy. Let's show you what we won. Miss Peggy, this is the only parcel actually that we have had, and it was a batch I've had for a while in my collector tray. And they were in my tray of where I collect stones that have optical properties, so cat's eyes or stars and whatnot. And you can see this is some nice Madagascan labradorite, and you have also some moonstones, and you can see some nice color in the moonstones as well. So only one parcel, and it goes only to the winner of the free item. Oh, this one, let me show you that one. And look at that. That is a gorgeous gray moonstone as well. Congratulations, Miss Peggy. We're going to tuck these away and then get started. All right, this is the way to segue to an item for sale that you just talked about, dravite tourmaline. Now, last week's show, you probably should remember that you saw several different dravite options and dravite crystal. The mine that they're from, the Pierpont Farm mine, it's like this hill of nothing. I can't imagine owning that. And I get excited about that little soil deposit I tell you that we go by once a year, as a few items erode out along the way in the right of way of a road. Well, can you imagine having the farm where the whole hill is pretty much anywhere areas you dig, you can hit incredible, not shoral tourmaline, but incredible dravite tourmaline. Now, this absolutely looks like shoral by way of opacity and not by way of the crystal formation, though it certainly looks different in that respect. But also, compared to other dravites, this is black. It's not like a lot of the coffee dravites that are actually, a yellowish brown. Some are quite attractive. A lot are facet quality. This material is pretty much just opaque, but does have some, what it is really known throughout the world for tourmalines, where it gets its claim to fame are these mirror, let me just grab one. Here we go. Look at this. Let me get my little towel. The mirrored faces to the crystal. Look at that. I mean, that is just like it's been polished almost, and just very sharp. And if you were ever looking for material, which I always was, for backing in a doublet, you know, black spinel has always worked really well. Well, this would work well also because it has that nice black finish and is a hard material. Okay, so this I only have one of. It's the set of all four, and this falls under the sale price of items, making it a, it actually has, let me show you. They're a little rough for the wear, but you get them nonetheless. 4 boxes, one for each one that goes along with it, has the name of the farm that they're found in. Yep, why not? $15. 15 takes all 4. That's a deal. Now, while we have that set up there, let me just show you right here. Here is the, look at this. I made this for the Raven. And look, isn't that cool? Yeah, no, this is why it's more cool. She thought that was really neat, but when it did that, and you see it's basically a simple kind of function to it, but when I put those absolutely some of the best quality, look at the diamond cut sapphire eyes of a really high quality Madagascan material, and then that. So this is just one of our many, and you're going to get to see them along the way into Halloween. The Raven's large stock of Halloween jewelry. Too bad I am not for sale, as Shawn needs mo money. All right, $15 for those Dravites. Only parcel I have available. Okay, the next item to showing you is also one that at the time I had a lot. Now I have very little left. Item number 997521. And this was a batch that when I got these, I was really tickled and really thrilled. Look at that. Look at that. Vanadinite on barite, and from the well-known deposits in Morocco. Look at that. Look at those crystals. And then here is your barite. So your pinkish, there's your barite as well. And barite, you wouldn't think so, but it's a very heavy mineral. So even a little piece like this, it has weight to it. But look at how sharp these crystals are. Now, there's another little goodie here. What are these white crystals on there? I'm kind of curious. Let me see if any other notes here says, because I spend so much time, of course, so barite is a lead vanadate, so lead, vanadium, and chlorine. This is from the well-known CUDA workings. And these little white crystals, I would have to say calcites. Calcites. I'll look in a minute, but that's really cool. That's really cool that it includes those. And then you also have this smaller material, sparkling material. See this all through there, which could be just some druzy quartz, but beautiful. Beautiful nonetheless. Okay, so that's a neat piece. It displays a lot of different ways, and I have it at a really affordable sale price opportunity, making this guy only, and I can't believe it, I'm offering it for this, but $21. Only $21 on that one. And that one is a really good opportunity. And let me show you. It will. Well, I don't know. Maybe in maybe in shipping they'll do it differently. But this is one of those pieces that, remember I talked about how we would get them, and they would be all lined up in a row in a flat, and you wouldn't be able to see them because they would individually wrap these. Some you could catch part of it, but they would take this toilet paper, and I remember me telling you in Thailand how the public toilets, you would have someone stand outside and you had to buy the toilet paper that you thought you needed for your time in the bathroom, because if not, the people would actually steal the toilet paper and they could never keep it in there. So you actually, and they sold it by the sheet, the little tiny square. Yeah, you had, so anyway, it's funny because they placed such a high value on the toilet paper, not by way of cost, but I mean by way of importance, that every time I see this, I think, and see the toilet paper, I'm thinking, wow, how much could I get for that toilet paper standing outside a, well, and they're Asian toilets, so, you know, they're just holes in the ground. But, so anyway, I just told the story again, because, again, that's all I think of when I see it. And so you can leave them like this. That way they don't bump into each other when they do these in the flat. And this is also for your own education if and when you move. Some of the best ways to be able to wrap specimens is exactly using the technique that the people that do it and know it the most. And that's the miner. So they wrap it like this. Now, alternately then, you can stop there, but you can then alternately, using the same extended piece without any break in it. Do you see how I'm doing this? And believe me, this is not the good stuff for toilet paper, but boom, there you go. And now I just made an origami snapping turtle. Huh? How about that? Dave, you impressed? Okay. Aren't we having fun now? Next item, 7. Ooh, this is auspicious, and someone needs to get this. 788818. You know, of course, we have lucky 7s here in the United States, and that's in North America, and that's the numbers we consider lucky. Well, that's not the same thing at all in Asia. Lucky number 8. So a number like that, you would be assured that there would be somebody that would buy it if you were selling that into that type of market. All right, check this out. Look at that. That is a monster size Pakistani zircon. Now, remember, that's one of the Pakistani 4, as I think Miss Barbara coined the term. And that is the 4 different minerals that I bought quantity of, flats of, or in by way of kilos. So we had the red zircons, we had the pink apatites, we had the sphenes, and we had the triplite. And 4 amazing deals that I was so thrilled to be able to get them. And so this, if you don't have one of these as they come up and are available, because I'm running low, then you need to make sure you get it when you see them. Now this black biotite mica, if you don't have biotite mica, this is a good example of how often and how it would look to find it in another specimen. So it's a good identification tool for biotite mica. You also, what's so fun about this, now let me show you. You can see along the line here that there has been some specimen preparation. In other words, some of the material has been peeled back, which is fine. I'm just showing what to look for, and you can see that fresh kind of whiteness, which can be actually cleaned up and that hidden as well. Now, this guy, look at all these. If you take this to the closet and get out your ultraviolet light, you'll be able to find all the little zircons and big ones on it, because it fluoresces very strongly in most cases. And in shortwave, a beautiful, beautiful yellow fluorescence. So not only will that, but then you'll find the other little red crystals dotted all around in this. But that's a really large, beautiful face to this crystal. Sale price on this piece is why someone really has to take advantage of it. $32. $32. Not only would that specimen be very difficult to find in any market or sale, show, but if you did find it, the price would be multiples of that. It's only, remember how I bought it, and remember also, I have that incredible, and I haven't worked with him in a while, but still, once you're friends, you're always friends, of Havis. And he really fixed us up before. He actually has offered Austin and I to take us to the mines back when things were calmer than they are now. But yeah, talk about, so it goes, from the miner to him to you guys, only passing through here. So that, normally there's 2 or 3 more layers of markup, but not in this case. All right, let me clean up that turntable a bit. I'll be right back. All right, this is a real beauty, and there's so much to talk about, but what's really going for this is the fact that the malachite has not taken over the azurite and created a pseudomorph as can happen so easily. Oh, by the way, since we're already right here looking at it, let me show you. Tibetan turquoise, and here is the really cool classic Asian dragon, solid underside. And you can tell that it is a natural turquoise, which means a whole lot to me, as opposed to, well, you've seen me show you fake turquoise demonstrations with blocks of it. All right, so look at this. Look at this. Look at these crystals of azurite. This is, most of the time you find druzy. Most of the time, especially at the way I'm going to price this, you would only get a specimen of druzy azurite. Look at these pockets. Look at back in there. I mean, that is a incredible crystal. Look at back along in here. Now, remember, with copper minerals, it's really easy to end up and find other minerals that are copper oriented and in the piece. For example, chrysocolla. Chrysocolla would be one that I've seen associated with these. Okay, now, as we go around this, you can see the wonderful contrast. The green in person is a brighter green than you're seeing here, but those colors are always difficult to pull out. But look at this. Look at this. Wow. Look at that. So it really, you realize that with a little bit of additional specimen preparation, you can pull all this material back and away from it. In other words, clean this off and reveal more of the azurites, if you're inclined to. But certainly this is beautiful the way it is. Look at the color of that. That looks like a fine Burmese sapphire kind of color. And Dave, can you take us a little bit in there at all? There we go. Look at that. Look at that. What a wonderful crystal.
Shipping and handling things.
And then down in that vug. How beautiful. How beautiful. This specimen is worth so much more. I can't believe that someone hasn't. Look at that. Look at those two over there taking advantage of this. Because you know what? Price on this one. Okay, when you have the price and then you have, hey, double F next to it, that means The final price, kind of silly because it's ridiculous. It's only $32. Anything less than that, I'll keep it before I sell it for less than that. $32 on that one. If I had more than the one, I'd sell it to you, but you know what? That's the only one we have. So that is a $32 item that you only have the one chance to get. Now, sticking with the theme of azurite and malachite, let me show you what I referenced. Item number 107-1822. 107-1822. When I said it's, well, I tell you what, right before let me show you first this, and then you'll know everything about malachite. All right, check this out. Look at the colors. Look at this. All right. And the size, you get a feel for the size of it. All right. Obviously, and what you're seeing is true in the greens. The green fibrous malachite is a lot brighter than the malachite on that piece. And of course, the one was Moroccan, and what you're looking at here is from the Congo. And it is really quite rare. It is what we call fibrous malachite. And when you look at this, it kind of looks like that micro suede that furniture is made out of, that, you know, you rub your hand along it and it's kind of one color. Look at that, how that is. But what it actually is crystals, really fine crystals, and you can see them like right there in that radio fan spray of how they look by way of crystals. You know, what is that word that we learned today that I already forgot? Paleo. I don't know. Look at even me. Look at it. I see ears. Look at this. Here is the mouth. Here's a beak maybe, or eyes. Here's a shoulder. That's, yeah, okay, see, so I'm doing whatever it is, I'm anthropomorphizing, that's my term. Or this one, this looks like it could be, okay, so you can have fun with your malachite that way. Look at this, look at that. I mean, this is all the way around, Beautiful example of fibrous malachite. And this material is really expensive and getting harder and harder to find, and price just keeps going up. I have an old price on this, and it's a sale price of only $64. $64. And that gets it as a final price. Not gonna be ever less than that. Look at this, it self-displays. I mean, which way do you want it to look beautiful? That way, as a, look at that. That will get a lot of attention, even from people that are not rock hounds, because it does something. The way the light moves across the crystals when you move it, it gets people's attention. And it certainly is a wonderfully rare type of formation to have.